When a breakup happens, most people think the pain is only emotional. They believe it is just sadness, memories, or feelings that will pass if they stay strong. But what many people do not realize is that a breakup affects the brain and body in a very deep and real way. The pain you feel after losing someone you loved is not imaginary. It is not exaggeration. It is not weakness. It is a real form of pain that the brain processes in a way very similar to physical pain. The human brain is designed to protect us and help us survive. From the very beginning of life, the brain learns what is safe and what is dangerous. It also learns what is necessary for survival. Food, shelter, and safety are obvious needs, but human connection is also one of these needs. The brain does not see close relationships as something extra or optional. It sees them as essential. When you form a deep bond with someone, the brain records that person as part of your sense of safety and stability. When two people are in a close relationship, the brain releases chemicals that make the body feel calm, happy, and secure. These chemicals create feelings of comfort and attachment. Over time, the brain gets used to these feelings. It learns that being with this person brings peace and relief. The presence of that person becomes part of your normal emotional balance. When a breakup happens, that balance is suddenly destroyed. The person who once made you feel safe, calm, and complete is no longer there. To the brain, this feels like a sudden loss of something essential. It reacts the same way it would react if you lost food, shelter, or protection. It sends out alarm signals. These alarm signals are experienced as pain. Scientists have found that the same areas of the brain that respond to physical pain also respond to emotional pain from rejection and loss. This means that when your heart feels broken, your brain is activating the same systems that would activate if you were physically hurt. That is why heartbreak can feel sharp, heavy, or crushing. That is why some people feel pain in their chest, tightness in their throat, or a deep ache in their stomach. Many people describe heartbreak as a physical sensation. They say it feels like pressure on the chest or like something is squeezing their heart. Some feel short of breath. Some feel dizzy or weak. These sensations are not imaginary. They happen because the brain is sending pain signals through the body. When you are in love, your brain releases chemicals such as dopamine and oxytocin. Dopamine is linked to pleasure and motivation. Oxytocin is linked to bonding and trust. These chemicals make you feel connected, valued, and emotionally safe. Over time, your brain begins to expect these chemicals regularly. When the relationship ends, the supply of these chemicals suddenly drops. The brain reacts strongly to this sudden loss. It is similar to what happens when someone suddenly stops a habit their brain has become dependent on. This is why breakups can feel like withdrawal. The brain is confused and distressed because it is no longer receiving what it expects. This is why people who are heartbroken often think constantly about the person they lost. Memories replay again and again. Small things trigger strong emotions. Songs, places, smells, and even silence can bring waves of pain. The brain is searching for the lost connection, trying to restore the balance it once had. Sleep often becomes difficult during this time. Appetite may change. Some people lose interest in food, while others eat more than usual. Energy levels drop, motivation disappears. These are not signs of laziness or weakness. They are signs of a brain under stress. Rejection makes the pain even stronger. When someone chooses to leave, the brain does not only experience loss, but also confusion and threat. It begins to question self-worth. Thoughts like, why wasn't I enough? Or what did I do wrong? Appear automatically. These thoughts are not chosen on purpose. They are the brain's attempt to understand and protect itself from future harm. The brain wants explanations. It wants to make sense of what happened so it can avoid the same pain again. But in doing so, it often turns inward and creates self-blame. This self-blame keeps the pain active. It keeps the brain in a state of alertness and stress. Stress hormones increase after a breakup. One of the main stress hormones is cortisol. High levels of cortisol affect the entire body. Muscles tense, the immune system weakens. The heart works harder, digestion slows down. This is why heartbreak can make people feel physically sick or exhausted. In extreme cases, emotional shock from a breakup can even affect the heart itself. Some people experience a condition often called broken heart syndrome, where intense emotional stress temporarily weakens the heart muscle. This shows how deeply emotions and physical health are connected. During heartbreak, time often feels strange. Days feel long, but weeks pass in a blur. The brain is processing loss, and this takes energy. Concentration becomes difficult. Simple tasks feel heavy. The mind keeps drifting back to memories of the relationship. The brain is also dealing with the loss of routine. When you are with someone, your daily life adjusts around them. Messages, calls, shared plans, and habits become part of your structure. When that structure disappears, the brain feels unstable. It does not know what to expect anymore. This instability can create anxiety. The future suddenly feels unclear. Plans that once included another person now feel empty. The brain does not like uncertainty. It prefers predictability. A breakup removes predictability and replaces it with unknowns. Despite how intense this pain feels, the brain is also capable of healing. Just as it learned to attach, it can learn to let go. But this process takes time. The brain needs repeated experiences to change. It needs new routines, new sources of comfort, and new emotional signals. At first, memories of the person trigger strong pain responses. Over time, as the brain experiences life without that person and realizes survival is still possible, those responses slowly weaken. The emotional charge attached to memories fades. The pain signals become quieter. This does not mean forgetting. It means the brain no longer reacts as if the loss is an immediate threat. The relationship becomes part of the past rather than an ongoing emergency. Human connection plays a powerful role in this healing process. When people talk to friends, family, or trusted listeners, the brain releases calming chemicals. These chemicals help reduce stress and pain. Feeling understood and supported tells the brain that it is not alone and not in danger. Physical movement also helps the brain process pain. Simple activities like walking help regulate stress hormones and improve mood. Sleep allows the brain to repair itself. Regular meals stabilize blood sugar, which affects mood and energy. Slowly, the brain begins to rebuild a sense of safety that does not depend on the lost relationship. Confidence returns in small steps. Joy appears briefly, then more often. The pain does not vanish overnight, but it becomes manageable. It is important to understand that heartbreak hurts because the bond was real. The brain does not invest deeply without reason. Pain is not proof of failure. It is proof of attachment. It shows that the brain cared, connected, and trusted. Many people judge themselves for feeling heartbroken. They think they should be stronger or move on faster. But healing does not follow a schedule. The brain heals at its own pace, based on the depth of attachment and the circumstances of the loss. Eventually, the brain adapts. New connections form. New routines create new stability. The nervous system calms down. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes a memory of something that was survived. Heartbreak changes people, but it does not destroy them. It reshapes the brain's understanding of love, loss, and resilience. It teaches the brain that pain can be endured and that life continues even after deep loss. The pain of a breakup feels physical because, in many ways, it is. It is the brain responding to the loss of something it believed was essential. Understanding this does not remove the pain instantly, but it explains why it feels so real, so deep, and so overwhelming. And just as the brain learned to love, it can learn to heal. Thanks for watching.